I almost feel like I don't need to make this. How many people have shown off Goldeneye 007 for the N64? I mean, it's... yeah. But I felt a duty, if we're going to look at Goldeneye Rogue Agent, I feel like we need to understand how much better Goldeneye for the N64 was, despite the fact that it's almost a decade prior to it, to really understand how bad Rogue Agent was. So I've just loaded into the first level. It's, yeah, I'm not going to sit and pretend that this is my favourite game in the world, because it isn't. It's, I played it at probably a year or two after it came out. We didn't have an N64 when it first came out. But I played it, I enjoyed it. I didn't finish it. I probably got to St. Petersburg and stopped there. I can respect from a distance just how important this game was, because it was important. I mean, it changed console first-person shooters completely. In the same way that, you know, I'm not the most massive Halo fan, but I can totally understand how that game absolutely changed the game on console first-person shooters. Having said that, I do think Goldeneye is still a great game regardless. I mean, I could be super snobby and say, you know, I'd played Doom, and I'd probably at that point played Quake. Certainly, me and my friends at that time were playing PC games, so even though this game was 97, I probably didn't play it till, you know, 98, 99, at which point I had already seen Half-Life, I'd seen Sin, you know, that was one of the golden eras for PC first-person shooters. So coming back to this, it's a very different kind of game. I don't think one is inherently bad, but I was looking for something different out of first-person shooter. I probably admire it more now than I did at the time. There's something about the way this game plays which was never really replicated. I think once Halo came along, and you know, eventually Call of Duty, those games were definitely cloned as much as they could be. And you know, to an extent, Doom and Quake had their clones, Doom especially, but there's something about GoldenEye that just plays like unlike anything else. I suppose Perfect Dark was the closest we got, because it was essentially a sequel. I mean, it was obviously, it had a different story, and you know, it was unconnected in terms of story, but in terms of actual gameplay, it's, you know, it's basically the same engine, several years ahead. But I don't think anyone's surprised that those two games are quite simple, or similar, sorry. Oh, this frame rate's awesome. Yeah, I apologise. Trying to get video out of an N64, it turns out, is very difficult. Also turns out trying to get video out of an N64 on a computer is quite difficult. For some unknown reason. Frustrating reason. Hey. Like I say, I don't feel like I need to show off GoldenEye 007. Everyone must be aware at this point of what this game was. That would be manual aim. Oh god. Yeah. This is... See, the problem is, I know there's going to be people who played this game to death and can control it like absolute machines, but it's genuinely been 10 years since I played this game. Probably even longer, for, you know, longer than 15-20 minutes. I think more interestingly about GoldenEye is just, this is one of those games that people try to remake. You know, Super Mario is one of those games. People try and remake it in every engine. You know, every time there's some sort of creation engine, like Little Big Planet or Mario Maker, I suppose technically counts in that list, but that is Mario. They try and remake it, and GoldenEye is the same. Like, there's GoldenEye Source, and then there's GoldenEye Doom 2, which we'll take a look at, because I think that's probably the most interesting one. They're actually trying to remake the single-player portion. But yeah, I mean, that's GoldenEye 007. I'm not going to sit and play through hours and hours of this game, because honestly, you know, how much of YouTube must be dedicated to playthroughs of GoldenEye? I'm just adding to the noise. let's take a look at Goldeneye 007, because I think we'll probably get a little bit more out of that, and it's probably a little bit more unusual. This game's still good, though. I've realised I've spent 5 minutes slagging it off, but it's a good game. Very good game, in fact. And it's a real shame they never got around to releasing a proper port of this. I mean, obviously, there's the Activision-produced Goldeneye game, which, unfortunately, we're going to have to take a look at some point. Looking forward to that. Yeah, that's Goldeneye 007. Let's have a look at the Doom 2 version. So rather than dwell on Goldeneye 007 for too long, I figured we'd take a look at something completely different. I say completely different. It's essentially a fan-made remake. This is Goldeneye Doom 2. This came out, man, I don't even know how many years ago. Probably over a decade ago. I stumbled across it many years ago, and I sat and played for a couple hours. And it's beautifully broken in some ways. That might have been the way that I was playing it at the time. It appears now there's like a standalone thing you just download and play, which is super handy. I think I had to download was it some sort of WAD that you essentially had to put into a source port? I can't remember now. It's been long enough. But this is kind of interesting. I mean, there's been multiple kind of GoldenEye remakes for the PC. There's this Doom 2 one, which I think is probably the most successful single-player game. There's obviously GoldenEye Source, which has had a lot of news in the past few years, but that's multiplayer only. And I think there's another Doom 2 mod coming at some point in the future. The status of that product, I've got no idea. I think they released a demo last year, but yeah, I figured we'd take a look at this instead. Let's go. I apologise if this is a little bit broken. It seemed to be working okay apart from that wipe, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. So, as you can see, this is pretty much a pretty faithful remake of GoldenEye in the Doom engine. There's obviously some caveats. They can't do stairs, and because of the way that maybe I should explain that. The way that Doom maps work, there is no. You can't have a room on top of a room. It has to be kind of faked. So you end up with these weird situations where you have doors that teleport you upstairs, or you can see it kind of transitioning to another area. I assume they're just teleporting you to a room that looks like the room you're in. But hey, that's creative solutions to problems. I think now with some source ports you actually can get around that because they don't have the same requirements that everything has to be on one level. Yeah, certainly originally, you couldn't have maps that had rooms on top of rooms. You had to fake that. Right. So this is pretty faithful. I mean, obviously they had to cut back the architecture a little bit. The level seems a lot bigger, but it is weird playing a game like this because it doesn't feel like Doom necessarily, which doesn't help. I mean, I suppose most people these days play Doom like this, including me, but I'm so used to playing Doom with the arrow keys that playing it with a WASD kind of configuration with a mouse always feels super weird. If you want it to feel even weirder, you can press minus and make the screen smaller and have the whole classic kind of Doom, which I kind of like. It ruins the GoldenEye spirit of it a little bit, but it's helpful for me to know that I'm dying quite badly. So as I was saying before, there are some minor issues, like I can't get up this staircase for some reason. Oh. Also, that melt doesn't work very particularly well. That's because I'm trying to run it in 16:9 mode. Alright, let's try harder this time. Now I'm actually watching my health, I might be more careful. I'm also having problems with the brightness. Every time I turn the brightness up, it turns itself back down again. I don't know if that's a Windows 10 thing. Like I say, I don't know. The date on this download was like 2013, so long before Windows 10 was around. But you'd have thought, at least with Windows 7, that compatibility should be pretty good. It also might be a bug with this source port of Doom, I don't know. Also worth mentioning, I didn't have to give it my Doom 2 WAD, it just works straight out of the box, which is quite nice, because it doesn't use any of the original textures for Doom, so nice that it doesn't require you to have that stuff. You can also see the limitations of sprites here as this truck kind of flicks around randomly. A good replication of the music, I will say that. Like for a MIDI version of the Goldeneye music, it doesn't sound unfaithful to me. One thing I will say about this source port, it doesn't allow you to jump, which I always feel like is, especially if you're playing original Doom and Doom 2, you should not be allowed to jump. It breaks a lot of the level layouts. You can level skip large portions of the level when you can jump. Right, see if I can actually get through this level without dying. Doing a lot better this time around. There are alt fires as well, but okay, so with the AK it's just a single shot. I'm not entirely sure how useful that is, but nice to give you the option, I suppose. But things, so the sniper rifle, which I can't remember if I picked up on this run or not. Is it full, I'm gonna guess? Oh, no, I didn't pick up the sniper rifle. So the sniper rifle will actually let you zoom in with a scope, which is quite nice. Oh, that truck's confusing the hell out of me. Right, so there's a door around here I need to open to get the truck through. She actually gets little bits of text as well that kind of explain the objective. So the objective system is kind of complete alongside. Oh yeah, I don't have to open that gate. What am I talking about? Already got full health. I will say the little picture of Pierce Brosnan in the bottom is terrifying me a little bit. Again, nice detail, but a little bit terrifying. Yeah, this is certainly... Ooh, okay, I take it back. This is certainly more solid than the version that I played. Yeah, there you go. So I think that's like a teleport. You can see it teleported me into a different area to simulate having an underground section. That's one of those things that's worth remembering, is that this came out in 2006, just long before explosive cardboard boxes, long before kind of source ports got really elaborate. You know, I've been playing Doom on PC since, you know, mid-90s, and it's evolved so much. I remember playing in the kind of mid-2000s, like getting into the kind of the new online ports, so you can play multiplayer over, you know, modern connections. Then you also have things like Xandronum that have just completely changed the way that you play multiplayer for Doom. It's also weird because I feel like Doom is one of the first games that kind of supported this total conversion thing, which always seems like a great idea and never tends to work out, just because either the developers get a cease and desist to tell them to stop, or, you know, they get jobs as developers, or they move on and do other things with their life. That's quite a big thing to commit to. I'm thinking about things like Aliens Total Conversion, or I suppose Simpsons Doom did come out, but that wasn't like a level pack. That was just, you know, it's more just character art. I have to try and track that down, actually. I don't know if that's still available on the internet somewhere. It must be. Yeah, those teleports are maybe not the most subtle thing in the world. But how do I get over there? I'm assuming that's where I need to go. I thought I was through here, but... Also, this is the fastest I can run, which is unfortunate. That's what I mean about it not feeling like Doom. The speed of the run is very non-traditional. Normally you'd be bucketing through these levels. Did I already come this way? What's that? Ah, hang on a second. There we go. Let's go to the secret base. This most definitely isn't a section of the N64 game. I don't remember walking on water in that in that level. Okay. This is disappointing. Is it down the middle? No. Well, that's disappointing. Unless there's a door on the back of this thing, which I very much doubt. Nah, because this is all wall. What's the point in this building? More importantly, what's the point of me being able to walk over here? That's not even a keyed door, so it's not like I can cheat. That's just a health box over there. Nothing down there. Nope. Well, I was kind of hoping to finish at least one level. It did say go down the stairs. I think it's down this way. Do I just keep coming down here and going the same way? Is that what I keep... Is that the mistake I keep making? Nope. Enemy. That's a good sign. Take explosive box. Oh, run out of ammo. Reloading also. It's worth pointing out. That definitely wasn't in Doom. Those explosive boxes are crazy. Ah, here we go. This is more like it. Can I blow up the computers? Sure hope I can. Who's that? That's the guy from Wolfenstein. Yes. Bungee jump down the dam now. Demanding. Yeah, MIDI drums. Oh, that's throwing me every single time. I keep thinking, I keep waiting for it to let me control. It actually is going to let me control immediately. Ooh. I don't think that's supposed to look like that. Let's go! I've got to stand on that. Yeah. It's so weird how they've kind of reappropriated the Doom levels. Oh, that's a scientist. Eh. There's big toilets. Oh, who's shooting me? And through what wall is he shooting me? More importantly. Yeah, there's some obvious weird geometry and stuff, but for a total conversion that is probably over 10 years old, I think this is pretty impressive. I suppose the advantage with the Doom engine is you don't have to have hundreds of people pumping out artwork. It can be a little cruder. Whereas, you know, when I see people saying, we're going to make Goldeneye in the CryEngine, that's going to take 3 years of full-time work. And a lot of these people who work on these things have jobs or, you know, go to school, or these aren't people who are paid professionally to do this sort of stuff. This explosive box is amazing. So, yeah, I find it impressive that they got as far as they did with this. I can't remember if this goes all the way to the end of the game. There's certainly a section where you can control the tank, which is weird because what they do is essentially give you the tank as a weapon, so you're just walking around as the tank. I think if I remember rightly, if you use the weapon sheet, you can actually just have the oh, that wasn't a good idea. You can have the tank in any level. Yep, come on. Let's try that. No. There we go. So if I remember correctly, shotgun, golden gun, rocket launcher, grenade. How the hell do grenades work in this game? Let's try it. Oh. Well, that didn't work very well. What the? Cheating! You shoot me through a wall! Oh, Bond. With your witty repartee. It's just silence pistols. Maybe you can't see the tank in this one. Or maybe they fixed it. I'm hoping for my sake that I didn't just invent that, or it was just a bug with that version. Yeah. That's GoldenEye Doom 2. I think that's kind of an interesting relic. Probably something that most people haven't come across before, unless they were enjoying Doom as much as I was in the mid-2000s. Yeah. As you'll see, this fan-made mod of GoldenEye is going to be a hell of a lot better than GoldenEye Rogue Agent.